This is Inside Badger Football with head coach Trey Shucker. Inside Badger Football is brought to you by the Arkadelphia Alliance and Chamber of Commerce, ATO Automotive, Batson Signs, Bell Wealth Services, Blakelytown, Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Chicken Express, Citizens Bank, Domino's, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone CPA, Doctors Gary and Rob Rucker, Knight Insurance Professionals, L&J Auto Sales, Ludwig's Bakery, Park Hill Baptist Church, Patterson Federal Credit Union, Print Mania, Providence Veterinary Care, Roger Wingfield State Farm, Scott Bird DDS, The Sexton Firm, South Central Connect, Southern Bancorp, Southwest Auto Collection, Taylor King Law, Tea Time Sims, Trinity Temple Assembly of God, Turner, Rogers, Manning and Plyler CPA, Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, and Welch Funeral Home. The host of Inside Badger Football is Cooper Darr.
Hello and welcome back to Inside Badger Football. Joining me as always, head coach Trey Shucker. How are you, coach?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Well, I bet you're especially happy after going on the road last week and claiming another conference victory. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
Haskell Harmony Grove last Friday. It was their homecoming. So there was some festivities going on that game, but Arkadelphia seemed to come in and take care of business.
Yeah. It just goes to show like we've played really well on the road, and that tells me the maturity of a team. We've went into every road game and come out with a win, and I think that's huge. It doesn't matter the opponent. Just being able to go and perform well on the road is a big deal. To win championships, you've got to play well on the road, and we've been able to prove that up to this point.
That's right. Coach, let's talk more about the game. The defense, man, they were awesome this game. It was fun to get to see them play against a offense that we don't see a lot in the 4A, especially the southern regions of the 4A. But first down was a key for the defense this week, stopping that first down, because even 3 yards for a dead T offense, that's a win to them.
It is, and 3 yards to a dead T offense is an explosive play. They're trying to get 3 yards. They're going to try to run the clock down to 3 seconds, and they're going to try to keep the ball away from us. But I thought our defense did a really good job. First down is a key down to stay ahead of the sticks from a defensive standpoint. We want to keep them from getting that 3 yards on first down. That way that they get off schedule. And our defense did a really good job of meeting the challenge. The way that they run their offense, their downhill run, very physical, violent, low. They're trying to get up under you and get you moved off the line of scrimmage, and our guys did a really good job of meeting and exceeding that.
Coach, let's talk about your offense now. Your offense needed to be efficient with the football this past week, and they had to take captive of every moment that they had the ball because Haskell Harmony Grove wanted to eat a lot of clock, right?
Yeah.
So talk about your offense and just the ball control that they had.
Yeah, we took care of the football. I thought we moved the football really well, efficiently. We had some drops in there, but we were able to overcome it, and that was my message to our offense was you have to have a next play mentality. You might make a mistake, you might drop a ball here and there. It's going to happen, but we're going to keep firing. So you got to be ready for that. You got to be mentally prepared to be ready to play the next play, not worry about what just happened. And I thought we did that, and we were able to overcome it and keep putting points on the board. We were able to throw the football around a lot based off of what we were getting defensively. It just fit what we needed to do. We needed to make plays in space. We needed to create explosive plays. We needed to score as fast as we could to try to get points on the board fast, because who knows how long we would get it before the next time we'd get it. So, the whole philosophy going into the game was to try to get the ball out in space and play fast with it and create explosives, and I thought we did that as a whole. We had a couple key players make some really impressive plays. It was a fun night offensively.
It really was a fun night offensively, but let's go ahead and watch these highlights and talk about how fun it really was.
Yeah.
Coach, Orion Roberts, he had 5 touchdowns total, 4 touchdowns just on offense. Talk about that. I mean, that is an incredible stat line.
Yeah, I think he had his best night, his best performance overall. I mean, he was making all the plays he needed to make, and he was in position to make the plays just by the way that he played, how fast he played off the line of scrimmage. You see him right there. That's Orion. Played vertical, made a great move on the safety, and found a way to get open with his speed. Previous to that, Maddox Finley had a great catch across the middle, was able to create an explosive play. Just the first drive went really fast for us, and they gave us exactly what we thought, and we were able to attack it. Defense gets onto the field, and you see us firing off the ball, having really good ball get off. Our linebackers are playing clean and getting downhill to the ball, and then we're good tacklers when we get there. And so that was the key was we got to have great ball get off. We've got to get lined correctly, and then we better not have a problem tackling. So I thought we did a really good job of that.
That's right. Coach, bring us into the mindset. Put us into the point of view of a defensive lineman for Arkadelphia. You're playing an interesting offense, a dead tee offense. Say Xavier Williams. What is he looking for on these types of plays?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is we tried to help them out with our scheme and get them lined up in the gaps they're trying to run the ball in. And so they've got to do a really good job of keying their read, right? As a defense, we're reading the Rydell. We don't watch the ball, we're reading the Rydell. And so when that Rydell moves, we're having great ball get off, we're having great hands, and we're trying to base them back and keep the offensive line from moving up to the backers. And so it's really just firing off and being a physical ball player every play.
Coach, with Orion's 4 touchdowns, Bryce Meekin's touchdown, just so much success. But that success wouldn't have came without the offensive line.
Yeah.
Bryce Meekin was clean all night. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. McCoy.
Bryson McCoy. Yeah, my bad.
McCoy. He was clean up front, did a great job with their pass pro. We knew that we had to do a really good job of setting, using our hands and just playing with technique. And I thought our offensive line made some really good improvement and move forward in their just ability to play with the correct technique and be consistent in the pass pro.
Mario Brownlee, Q Morris, Malachi Hamilton, all of those guys. Ethan Lewis had great games last Friday. It was incredible. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, and it starts with the front. In an offense like this, we added in another lineman. We added Grant Rollins and Ashton Hayes, 2 offensive linemen, up to the defensive line to get some extra beef up there. And so we had more linemen in the game. We took a skilled player off just to match the formation, to cover the gaps, and with the front line being able to have great ball get off. With how they're aligned, it allowed those linebackers to play clean, play free, and they were able to do that and go make plays and make tackles.
With a lot of the routes that we're seeing here on the screen, is this all technique and pure speed of them getting open?
It's a mixture of it. It's a mixture of it. There's situations and details within the play that we're trying to improve on and trying to correct, and we're on the sideline trying to get better at with how we release, how the depth of our route, how fast we get out the top of our route, things like that. But I thought overall our receivers played to the speed that we want them to play. I think they're playing at their top speed, and then they understand when they're supposed to get open. That's one thing that we're trying to continue to learn. Is the timing of when they're supposed to get open, when they can expect the ball, when their eyes need to be up, when they, they're playing, get to the top of their route, when they cut, their eyes need to be up and be ready for the ball, their hands need to be ready. And so I think those are the things that the smaller, finer details of what we're trying to improve on, and I can see it happening throughout the game.
Coach, this play with Orion Roberts, it was almost like he was coming across the field, almost a little bit of a screen type look. Talk about that play specifically that we just saw, that touchdown. It was a long, long touchdown.
Yeah.
Talk about what thought of that you were thinking to even have that play call.
So it's very similar to like a play action, right? And we had ran the ball a couple times previous to that play, and we didn't run the ball a whole lot during the game. Their defensive line was coming out and just kind of cutting our offensive linemen down, and so I wasn't really trying to mess with that. And so we saw us throw the ball quite a bit, but I wanted to give the look that we were running the ball, kind of allow the defense to kind of suck up in there, and then we were able to find Orion out of it. So it's kind of a play action. And then Meekin had a great block on the outside. He blocked the corner into the safety, got 2 for 1, and then Orion's out the gate after that.
All right, let's watch this play right here. Let's see what happens. It's a pass, and McCoy is looking.
Yeah, so this is a 4th down play. It's 4th and 4. We run a rub route. The underneath route got taken, so we go over the top to Meekin, and McCoy put the ball in a really good spot for Meekin to be able to extend his arms and go up and get. It's kind of one of those balls that we're either catching it or nobody's catching it. So Megan does a great job getting 2 hands to the ball and then coming down and getting a foot in bounds before getting shoved out of bounds. And so we're able to keep the drive alive on that play. I talked about it before we got started. I thought our playmakers made plays that they needed to make. Here's another one where we kind of give the impersonation of the play that we just ran or a couple plays earlier, and then we break it inside instead of outside. And so we're playing games with the safeties, we're playing games with the DBs. We make our routes look the same, but one time we might break out, the next time we were going to break in. And so right there it was an in-breaking route, and the DB didn't recover very quickly, and so we were able to find him across the middle for a touchdown.
All right, let's talk through this play right here. It's a left for the defense, the strong side to the left side. They don't pass just a ton.
No, but our linebackers do have keys. They're reading those tight ends and wings, and we do have the safeties in the game, so they're reading anything vertical out of the backfield. They're going to attach to. So this is a great play also. This is right before halftime. They punt the ball to us. Not much time on the clock. I can't remember how many seconds was on the clock when they started, but Cam does a great job of his returns. We've seen him have some great returns this year. He's very dangerous anytime he fields it. But gets the ball down in field goal territory with 2 seconds left, so we put the field goal unit on, and Seth Molinari does a great job. Very strong kick through the uprights, very good snap by Casey Pye, really good hold by Maddox Finley, all of it executed very well. So we're going into halftime feeling good, just got to kick a field goal, making it 38-0.
All right, talk about this play right here. It was the last touchdown, and it was a fun one to get to see, and being on the home side. It was pretty interesting, but it was a fun one to watch as a Badger fan.
It was. Their whole goal, the whole thing going into the game was we knew that they were going to squib kick and they were going to kick it really hard at our guys, and hopefully it bounces off somebody and they can return it. It's not like a true onside, but they're not going to kick it deep to us for this reason. So we had game planned for it. The whole goal was to recover the kick. But right there, Orion, they kicked it right to him. The ball got to him pretty quick to where he could gather himself and kind of see a hole. And in that situation, you just got to let your best players be the best players.
That's right. All right, Coach. Well, let's talk about some of the best players from the game. Let's talk about the players of the game from Haskell Harmony Grove versus Arkadelphia. Orion Roberts, we've talked about him, but offensive player of the game.
No doubt. 5 total touchdowns, 4 receiving touchdowns. I think he had only 89 yards receiving through all that, but still led the team in yards and scoring. Had a phenomenal night. Orion Roberts, our offensive player of the week.
All right, defensive player of the week, Mario Brownlee.
Yeah, Mario Brownlee, junior linebacker for us. He's a guy that's gotten better every single week. He's learned our scheme very quickly, and he's starting to feel more comfortable than the longer that he's with us, and as the weeks go by, he's starting to gain a lot of confidence. Had his best performance defensively this week. I think he had 10 tackles, maybe 3 or 4 tackles for a loss, but had a phenomenal game overall. He's our defensive player of the week.
Special teams player of the week, the one and only Seth Molinari.
Seth Molinari had a lot of kickoffs. Had a really good did really good job in his kickoff placement. Allowed our coverage to get down the field and do a really good job of pinning them inside the 20. And then also came in and nailed the field goal right before halftime. Like I said, very strong kick, and it went straight down the middle of the uprights.
It did. I mean, he is very impressive in everything he does.
He is, and he takes it serious. He's a guy that we've got to kind of scale him back. You don't want your kicker kicking every single day, but he's a guy that he wants to. He wants to get out there and just kick the whole practice long. And so he does a really good job of taking it serious, and it's nice having a guy that we feel that good about, that we can put in any situation and go out and execute.
Our Badger Spirit Award winner for this week, John Ross Simpson.
Yeah, John Ross Simpson is a guy that he's a senior linebacker for us, and he's just willing to do whatever it takes to make the team better. He's a guy that is on the field for us, getting us better every single day in practice. I mean, we ask for guys to give us a look and service us, and in any way possible, he's ready to jump in and make us better, gives 100% effort, gives us a great look, and goes full speed. He's a guy that's recovering from some injury, and I think that he's getting more confident with his injury every single day too, and just progressing over the course of the season. He's a guy that he wasn't full speed during the summer, and so once we got into the season is when he kind of got to full speed, and he's still progressing through that also, and we're excited to see that from him.
All right, the 4A7 results from this past week: Arkadelphia 45, Haskell Harmony Grove 14. We were at that game. Bauxite 41, Malvern 16, Nashville 56, Ashdown 14, Fountain Lake 42 to Genoa Central's 0. The 4A7 standings as of this past week: Nashville sitting up there 4-0 in conference. Arkadelphia and Malvern right there next to them. Bauxite, Haskell Harmony Grove, and then you can kind of read from there, but some good teams in this conference for sure. Let's talk about this week, who is playing where this week. Genoa Central will travel to Bauxite. Haskell Harmony Grove will be at Nashville. Malvern will be at Fountain Lake. And Ashdown will be at Arkadelphia. Let's look at that last game right there. Ashdown coming to Arkadelphia to take on the Badgers this week. Let's talk about that game.
Yeah, Ashdown, we're excited to be back in Badger Stadium. Ashdown's had some ups and downs this season, but they're still, athletic. They've got a new coach over there. This is his second year, and so they're still, he's still getting his culture going over there at Ashdown, and we've got to be ready to play. They're just dangerous enough to where we've got to make sure we're in our P's and Q's, and we've got to do right. We've got to play Badger football. But we're excited to be back in Badger Stadium. Excited, should be a good night of football. I think it might rain a little bit, but anytime that we get to play at our home stadium, we're excited about it.
That's right, and just like you said, the game is at the home stadium this Friday, so come out and support the Badgers. The Southern Bancorp Badger pregame show will begin at 6:30, so you do not want to miss that. But if you cannot make it, watch at ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com. And Coach, you got anything else to say?
Hey, just go Badgers.
All right, go Badgers. See you this Friday, 7 o'clock at Badger Stadium. Go Badgers.
Chamber of Commerce, ATO Automotive, Batson Signs, Bell Wealth Services, Blakelytown, Chad Kesterson, Shelter Insurance, Chicken Express, Citizens Bank, Domino's, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone CPA, Doctors Gary and Rob Rucker, Knight Insurance Professionals, L&J Auto Sales, Ludwig's Bakery, Park Hill Baptist Church, Patterson Federal Credit Union, Print Mania, Providence Veterinary Care, Roger Wingfield State Farm, Scott Bird DDS, The Sexton Firm, South Central Connect, Southern Bancorp, Southwest Auto Collection, Taylor King Law, Tea Time Sims, Trinity Temple Assembly of God, Turner, Rogers, Manning and Plyler CPA, Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, and Welch Funeral Home. Inside Badger Football is a production of the Washita Sports Digital Network, the student sports media program housed in the Rogers Department of Communications at Washita Baptist University.